defection is still blowing in the National Assembly, even as the Senate begins consideration of the 2014 appropriation bill. Hello and welcome to the Gavel. I'm Lanre Lasisi. This week, a lot happened in the National Assembly, from defections to reactions trailing the directive by the All Progressives Congress to its lawmakers that they block executive bills, including the 2014 appropriation bill. We will be looking at these issues. We'll also have reports on the debate on the 2014 appropriation bill, which commenced in the Senate, and the vote on the review of the Constitution, which took place in the House of Representatives. I'm sure you're aware that one issue that keeps coming up every week in the National Assembly these days is that of defections. Lawmakers leaving their political parties and aligning with other parties. We'll look at this in our next report.
The issue of defections appears to still be an issue that confronted the Parliament this week. Just as it happened last week, several lawmakers in the House of Representatives notified the House of their move to another party. The debate over which party now has a majority in the House continued. The APC caucus in the House, however, insists it maintains the majority.
That we're reading in the papers about the APC losing majority in the House. I would want to encourage members of the press. You have a responsibility to engage in investigative journalism and actually do the math, and by which time, by next week, with God's grace, we'll give you the real figures of who is where and who is not. For now, we don't believe the figures. We have different figures. We just thought we'll encourage us so we don't disseminate wrong information to the public. APC is in the majority in the House for today. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about the day after. We will give you exact numbers because I don't want to be off by 1 or by 2. We will give you our numbers, which we're working on, and we are also hopefully expecting more people. So we don't want to rush to give you a number until the case is completely closed.
This week, the defection drama began in the Senate. Some senators elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, indicated their intention to defect to the opposition All Progressives Congress, APC. A formal letter of the defection was delivered to the Senate President, Senator David Mark, and was expected to be read on the floor of the Senate. The next day, however, it appeared the letter would also not be read. It led to a battle of wits at the Senate plenary, with the Deputy Senate President, Senator A.K. Ekweremadu, presiding over the session. Some of the lawmakers demanded that the notification for a change of political party be read on the floor of the Senate. Leading the APC charge is Senator Bukola Saraki, who represents Kwara Central in the Senate. He raised a point of order to enforce his privilege by calling attention to the letter.
The Senate President, I just want to bring it, notice of the whichever letter communicated yesterday to your chair, notification of the change of political party by myself and 11 other senators from the platform of the People's Democratic Party to the All People's Congress. As I felt that it was necessary for me to bring it to the floor, as the letter submitted had not yet been read.
However, Senator Ekweremadu confirmed the letter has been received by the Senate President, who was absent at plenary and thus would not read the letter.
He told me you had a discussion with him and agreed to have a meeting on Monday. So that was what he told me on the subject. This is my understanding of your dialogue with him, and he's not here. So I believe we'll stand down any issue relating to that until he comes back.
However, that decision did not go down well with the defecting lawmakers and members of the opposition. For about 30 minutes, there was an exchange of words across party lines.
Senate President told this chamber that he is aware of the letter.
It was finally agreed that the letter be read on next legislative day. The opposition would have to operate on the basis of trust and hope that on Tuesday, February 4, 2014, the Senate leadership will read the letter and effect the defection. If their defection stays true, the PDP will retain the majority in the Senate with 62 senators, while the APC members will increase to 44. Meanwhile, the leadership of the PDP, the party's governors forum, had been meeting with the party caucuses in the National Assembly. After the meeting with the Senate caucus, The Senate leader Victor Ndomaegba dismissed speculations that 11 PDP senators have decamped from the PDP to the APC. He admitted that the PDP is going through trying times, but said the party would only emerge stronger. Also speaking to journalists after the meeting, the governor of Akwa Ibom State said the aim of the meeting is to cement the relationship between the legislature and the executive.
To the best of my knowledge, if they have moved, it's not yet official, because there's a procedure for moving on the floor of the Senate. That hasn't happened yet. So as far as I'm concerned, it's still speculation.
For us, we are very happy that this kind of interaction, which has brought about cordiality and a better understanding between all the parties, the senators, the party, and then the governors, must be encouraged and must continue from time to time. And will bring a lot of strength back to the party, and of course will ensure electoral victory come 2015.
The meeting with the House caucus had a different focus. The arrival of the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum caused a little stir as he worked with two governors from other parties. The two governors left almost immediately, but an explanation was given for their appearance.
We are all politicians. You can understand political language. Yeah. You know the implication of their comment. Yes. It was just an unspoken and uncommon appearance. In other words, I came in with them briefly just for them to let you know that you are not alone. Yes. You are not alone. I think that's enough.
He also touched on the essence of the meeting.
We ought to have this kind of rapport where the PDP governors will mix with members of the National Assembly as a whole, including even the senators of PDP extraction, and thereafter meet with members of the working committee so that we can forge a closer working relationship, sustain the momentum of democracy, and also answer all your questions, even in future before elections. That's why I said I welcome you. This is the first of its kind, and I think it's not too late. One thing I'm certain about is that the outcome of this meeting will determine to a large extent the return or the exit of many of you from the House of Reps. If you notice, your governors are here, and you know what normally happens. When some of you come to the House of Reps, you get disconnected from your states. And so when you get disconnected from your state, you don't attend any single state function, you don't even link up with your governor, and particularly if you are lucky to have a position in the House, you now become higher than your governor in every respect. The result is friction. So this meeting will smoothen all that. So I want to thank the National Chairman for agreeing to come with the last chunk of members of the working committee. Whatever we seal here will now remain the Abuja Accord.
The lawmakers apparently had their own demands.
This caucus would like to suggest a retreat for National Assembly members, party leaders, and the executive to enable us further deliberate on important matters affecting our party. All these measures will no doubt go a long way to soothe frail nerves, engender the unflinching loyalty, and indeed utmost commitment to the cause of the party.
The national chairman assured the lawmakers of a new dawn in the party and asked for their loyalty to the party. 3 hours later, the meeting came to an end.
Was an agreement reached here? It was a formal meeting. We had a place for reaching agreement. If agreement to reach, you have to go to the party hierarchy. This one was just a formal meeting to pave way for what we are asking for.
The PDP is the biggest party in Africa. There is no threat. The problem is that we've had our challenges as a very large party, and we know that you can't have such a party without, a bit of problems. What we are doing right now are steps, in the right direction to ensure that the party gets back on track.
Automatic tickets are given for parties that are undemocratic. We have a democratic process, and we'll go through that. Those that deserve it will surely be there.
The House of Representatives commenced voting on the review of the 1999 Constitution this week. Take a look at this. This was the reaction that greeted